He's grabbed and he's going to be sacked.
Welcome, Broncos country. We got the full panel here today to discuss, hey, what went wrong with this Broncos loss to the Jaguars? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? We'll also look ahead a little bit to Christmas Day with Kansas City. But before we get started, please go subscribe to all the channels. Link is in the description. And yes, after you get in the comments, all that also. Go out to Kalshi, baby. Use the code DTB. Get a $10 bonus when you deposit $10. And, hey, we got to make that money back somehow. And I'm feeling pretty good with the Broncos being, I think, like 88% favorites against Kansas City coming up. So thank you to them for sponsoring the channel. I guess we can go ahead and get started, guys. We had a little new segment here that we're wanting to try out. Kind of like, shout out to Mario Vitanzi for his cover 4, but maybe us trying to make sense and talk about the game from some different angles and perspectives with a cover 4 type of format where we all kind of take a topic and we discuss it. We ask questions, all those things, but I'm not the MC the entire time. So we're going to start out with Jeremy. And this, Broncos lose 34-20. What you got to say about it? What's your takeaway topic?
Well, my main takeaway is it's clear to me and also my family that I hate losing way more than I like winning because that was rough yesterday. But that being said, after how frustrating that was, and I mean, it's pretty pathetic that we hadn't lost in 3 months and then we lose and we're like, this is insane. This is outrageous. So after a day to cool off, are we still, does this yesterday's loss make you more concerned, or do you think that this was actually a blessing in disguise?
I want to go last for this one.
Okay, we'll go this way.
Start with Kodiak?
Kodiak, yeah.
Okay, the reason I'm not so concerned is because we saw a lot of things that, honestly, the Broncos have gotten away with in the past 3 calendar months just come to fruition in this game, and it was just enough to where they couldn't overcome it, okay? It was nothing new. There were issues that were prominent on this team, ever since the bye. We talked about the defense. Bo Nix kind of reverted back to his old ways, even though he had been heating up. So I'm not concerned. I think, sometimes – sometimes your luck just runs out. Sometimes that's just the NFL. And that's just what it boils down to. So, no, to answer your question, I'm not entirely concerned. Does it suck when it finally happens? Yeah, of course it does. I would have loved to have had, the 1 seed all but wrapped up heading into Arrowhead against third stringer on Thursday night. But you know what? It's the NFL. We still control our own destiny. And, Crushing It does a really good job of encapsulating it here. Yeah, we're concerned about everything that's gone on, especially lately. But everything is fixable. Everything is coachable, and I trust this coaching staff to get it right.
I agree. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, man. I mean, I was watching Aqib Talib's show, No Fly Zone.
Same.
Or is that what it's called? Or No Lie Zone?
No Lie Zone.
Yeah.
And I think he said it perfectly, man. And I love his opinion because obviously he's a player. He understands how locker rooms work. He's played for a lot of teams. Benny Fowler echoed the same sentiments, and he said, the longer a win streak goes, the closer you get to a loss. And I know we kind of talked about it a little bit in the past too. Does this team kind of need to lose? And it really feels ultimately like that was the case. You kind of needed that humbling. A lot of the bad habits that have been creeping their ugly heads in the past have, really showed again. So the best way to learn and the best way to truly stop that from happening, in my opinion, is a loss like that, is to get humbled. And it was like I always say, if you're going to lose, that's kind of the way to do it. Just straight up get your butt whooped, and it allows you to really regroup and I think make a really, really strong push now moving forward, knowing that you can't cut corners and you gotta buckle down in your preparation every single week. So I mean, you never want to root for a loss, but I feel like, man, if it's gonna happen, it's definitely better now than later. That's for sure. So, not that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just to also piggyback on what Akib said is like, I've seen it so many times where the longer you go with the streak, the unluckier you're going to get. There's going to be times when you're fumbling an RPO. There's times when you're going to fumble a snap. Like the ball's hitting off of sure pass catchers, like fingertips. There's going to be blown tackles from guys who are sure tacklers. It's just the way it goes. And sometimes you need to be smacked and show you're not invincible to reset. So I think I totally agree. Go ahead, David.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm choosing to take the positive view from this because, we won 11 straight. I wanted to see us win 17 straight. That would have been awesome. I like to see our Broncos make history. Perna said we would have needed to win 17 in a row to win the Super Bowl. A loss now is fine. Start a new streak. That's true. And I would have rather this happened, I guess, against the Jaguars than against the Chargers. And most definitely right now with the Chiefs rolling out their third string quarterback right now on Christmas Day. So yeah, hopefully this is still early enough to where we can go out and have two really solid victories, most importantly against the Chargers, because that could be for the 1 seed and for the division, depending on how this week goes for us and them against the Texans. So yeah, I'll take it as this wasn't even a close game, like Mark said, where, we got whooped in every phase. Special teams was an issue. The defense was an absolute issue, of course. And the offense was not good either. And even though, I love RJ Harvey, I still saw him as like one of the few bright spots of the game. Yeah, still 6 out of his 7 carries went for 12 yards. That's that's got to change a little bit too. So, yeah, I won't be too long-winded, but we've seen enough from this team that I think they have the football character to grow from this. That's my hope. The one question is, does Vance Joseph have the football character to grow from this? And we'll find out. What do you think, Jeremy?
Yeah, like to me, even though we had a lot of wins where we had mistakes and things to learn from, nothing like sticks with you like a loss does. Like you can learn through wins, but like even that Giants game, we didn't talk about the first 3 quarters of that Giants game. We talked about the 33 points in the 4th quarter because that's what won us the game. And we don't look back at it and go, what the heck was going on those first 3 quarters? Because all's well that ends well. When you do finally lose and everybody has to go stand in the locker room and say, what happened? Why did you lose to those guys? That's when you're like, I'm not going to let that happen again. I'm going to prepare. Nick Bonito is, in one sense, it's kind of like, why weren't you prepared as well? But also I respect the fact that he said, I didn't prepare the way I should have for this game. I should have played way better. And that's the type of mentality you need to improve these things. And the good news, I was talking to Mark after the game yesterday, was there's a good chance with the way that the Jaguars are playing and the way they're looking, we are going to see them again if we do what we're supposed to do. So I would rather take a loss on the front end, learn the lessons of what you made mistakes. You didn't you were crashing and letting their quarterback just run around and get first downs and touchdowns, not making tackles, all the things, dropping footballs, missing field goals, all the little things that you were doing to win. Now you're going to be focused. And like Akib said today, and I totally agree, the next time we see those boys, it's going to be a completely different mindset and we're going to whoop those guys. So, maybe we will, maybe we won't, but if we see them again, it's much harder to beat a team twice than it is to, fix the problems and beat them the second time.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to see the Texans, man. Not at all.
But you also want them to win, right? Do you have to, this week at least?
I know. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what's tough about it is if they get like the 7th seed, I could totally see them beating the Steelers, I guess, or like the Ravens, whichever team that, wins the AFC North, and then they're coming into Denver to
Yeah.
play again. Yeah. It's about to get real interesting. But go ahead, Jeremy.
I was just gonna say one thing different with the Texans though is we beat them in Houston. They would have to come here, so that throws a different kink into it.
That's very true. And Max saying this, yeah, I've never seen Trevor Lawrence play that well. He usually struggles to process and make good decisions. Not yesterday. He was accurate. He ran where he could and should have. And I mean, things have just been clicking with him for the last month or so. He has been a different quarterback, and he's no longer in the same class, in my opinion, as like Tua Tagovailoa. So, yeah. Who wants to go next? Mark, Kodiak?
I think Kodiak's ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm ready to go. I want to play something called Blame Game. The reason I want to play something called Blame Game is because, listen, you guys are entirely correct that I learned way, way, way more about the Broncos from their losses rather than I do the wins. Okay. The games that really stuck with me as far as like how to improve our team over the offseason when we were all like making our draft videos, making our free agency videos, the things that really stuck with me were from the games against Buffalo last year, the games against Baltimore, the Chargers, the Bengals, all the games that we lost from last season. So, I mean, I don't want to start because I think we all have our, I think we all have our blames that we want to place on the team. So I want to give you guys the floor. Okay. Who primarily deserves the blame? Because we can encapsulate it and say that everybody deserves the blame for this game. And you know what? That's completely true. But where do you primarily see an opportunity for this team to improve? Could be a specific unit, could be a position group, just whatever. Could be a coach, could be a player, whatever.
I'll say inside linebacker. I'm done with this being a revolving door and trying to, band-aid it and not commit to finding legitimate off-ball linebackers that can just be like Swiss Army knives. So even if it's like a really big safety, somebody like a Derwin James type, that's why I really like Nick Emmanwori. But we need to have a lot more talent and more versatility at inside linebacker, in my opinion, because way too often it makes it easy for defenses to attack that position when they're slow or when they're just not as athletic as everybody else. I think that would really complete the defense. So that would be one of my priority spots for sure.
Yep.
Man.
All right.
I hate that I'm gonna do it, but I just gotta do it, man.
You can take mine.
Because I don't agree with the call. But PJ Locke's dumb late hit on Trevor Lawrence on that false start or whatever it was, dude, that changed the whole game. Like if you're talking about like the big momentum swing, I feel like that happened and we never fully recovered from it. Dude, it was that one. And personally, I thought maybe the penalty should have offset. We've seen something like that happen and hits that hard happen before to where the referee hasn't thrown the official or the flag because it's just too loud. They understand. It's not fair, but at the end of the day, that's how it was called. And it was kind of that play that ended up changing the game. So yeah.
Were we talking about the game or the team as a whole? My bad. I don't know if I misunderstood the
I
question.
mean,
no,
I don't really care. Like, it could be
either
about
one.
the game, could be about the team as a
Yeah,
whole.
yeah.
I was thinking the game, but if you guys want to talk about like whatever.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. My mind just went to the game. Yeah, PJ Locke is somebody that I am concerned about. But, shout out to Aussie NFL in the Discord. He thinks that maybe outside a couple of those plays that PJ did generally well. But it's kind of like, I'm kind of wondering right now, guys, do we have, and you know what? I'll throw Riley Moss. I'll cheat in there a little bit too, because Riley Moss made an amazing pass breakup against Jacoby Myers in the end zone. Riley Moss, dude, also couldn't tackle Parker Washington to save his life that was embarrassing. I knew Parker Washington was going to get some big play off of us, but we got two guys right now that seem like just stuff happens when they're on the field. Just something happens when they're on the field, and that needs to be solved. That needs to be solved by Vance Joseph, man. You can't treat PJ Locke like he's Brandon Jones.
Yeah, if I'm going to piggyback off yours a little bit, it's not just that one call that screwed us. There was a multitude. I felt like the Malcolm Roach, I mean, literally he's hitting him while Trevor Lawrence is throwing the ball, and then they call roughing is insane. Like, only that's called if he takes 2 steps, whatever. That is like, you drove him into the ground. You want him to levitate and like somehow move his entire body off of him somehow. That's ridiculous. The PI was ridiculous. The push off they didn't call was ridiculous. All of those were ridiculous. But there are certain people out there that are like, it wasn't the officials why we lost this game. It's true, because we missed tackles. We threw interceptions. We dropped catches. We missed field goals. So that's all true. But it's not just because the game doesn't come down to a bad call like the Colts game came down to a leverage call. Those calls shape the way the game goes. And that continually put us behind every single time we were about to get the ball back, about to get a stop, about to do whatever. We're back to square one, or they have it at the 1 or whatever. So it wasn't the single reason we lost or anything, but like, you can't ignore it and be like, oh, that was nothing.
Yeah.
That being said, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Jeremy.
No,
go
you're
ahead.
good. No, you go.
Well, I just want to say it felt like, okay, I think we had 6 penalties yesterday for like 60 something yards or so, but it felt like every single penalty we got, it was coming right on like 3rd down or in a crucial situation like that to extend a drive, man. And some of them were ticky-tacky, others weren't. But that has been a theme. I think throughout this winning streak, we've been able to overcome it. But we've had plenty of untimely penalties that have allowed opponents to extend drives. That's something we got to do better at moving forward, finishing off the season for sure.
And just like Miles is saying in here, you got to play good enough that the refs didn't impact the game. We've done that for 11 weeks. Yeah. But like, I mean, at a certain point, the dam's going to break. Like, you can't always play so much better than both the officials and the other team, especially a good team that's hot like that. So like, that being said, let's just get that out of the way. That happened. We're going to deal with it, whatever. But the person I'm blaming the most is, I'll go with Vance Joseph on this one. He's hearing the prospects if he's going to get another coaching job. Look at this defense. Oh, it's unbelievable. 2015, blah, blah, blah. Those guys weren't ready. They weren't as intense as the other team was. We were at home. They should have been. Nick Bonito himself said it. Like, the pass rush has kind of fizzled or disappeared somewhat. And again, a billion no calls on some blatant holds down the line. And it drives me absolutely crazy. That being said, you're like Kodiak said yesterday, we were going against a 2nd string tackle. Like, Nick Bonito needs to win regardless of the holding. Like, you got to do that. So we just weren't as intense. Now, we've done a masterful job of getting up for the right games this year for 11 weeks. So I'm not like whining about it. They've done more than I ever thought they should have, because most teams go like this throughout the season, and they've done so well. So it was going to happen eventually. But the fact that it finally happened, now let's reset and get your mind right for this finishing off of the regular season and going into the playoffs. Because what you saw yesterday is exactly what you're going to see in the playoffs, if not worse. So get your mind right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just talking about the officiating real quick. The only thing I will say is the thing that's disheartening for me about it is it felt like when we played the Chiefs, it felt like, the Chiefs were getting a Lakers level whistle, Lakers playoff whistle when we played them at home earlier in the season. And it felt like that did nothing except add more fuel to our fire. It felt like that whenever, the Chiefs got a really, really favorable call, it felt like the team, they rallied around that. And they were just like, all right, we know that we're going to have to, play against 2 opponents or whatever. But, I didn't think I thought the PJ Lock thing was more unfortunate rather than anything else. Like, it's just more unfortunate that our crowd was so loud that he didn't hear it. But, Lawrence did stop. Although I did see the replay. Like, Lock there was no way he could have been able to slow down. So it is what it is. Like, once again, I'm not blaming him. It's just unfortunate. And yeah, once again, all the holding no calls. The reason I'm going to blame the pass rush is because, for a long time, it feels like we've been saying that, whenever we needed a big stop, it feels like that we're not getting it from Benito and Cooper. And we have at a lot of points this year. So I do want to give them their flowers, like, Cooper icing the game against the Jets. That one really sticks out to me. And, Benito, I think he closed out the game, or should have closed out the game against Green Bay too. But, like Jeremy said in the post game yesterday, it feels like the defense is heavily dependent on how the pass rush plays. It's heavily dependent on which pass rush shows up. And credit to Jacksonville. They came up with an amazing plan to neutralize our pass rush. Okay. They've started to put more running backs and tight ends in motion, and they're willing to take, the TFLs or whatever to set up sequencing, And so, I mean, I guess this is more of like a me giving my props to Jacksonville thing, not really like a blame thing. But you know what? You saw Travis Etienne get tackled for a loss yesterday a lot on early downs. Okay. You saw them get 2nd 11. You saw them be in 2nd 9 from Etienne, and they're fine with that. The reason they're fine with that is because it doesn't allow our pass rush to really pin their ears back. It allows our pass rush to be like, all right, we gotta respect their horizontal game, and that is what's been going on the past month. So I'm excited to see how Vance Joseph adjusts. But yeah, sorry, that was a long-winded tangent, but that's where I'm at with this.
No, I think you nailed it. I think it's exactly the takeaway that I took from it. I took some notes from it earlier when I kind of went back through it. It wasn't so much that like we were bad on third downs. I mean, we were obviously like from statistical, but they had a lot of third and shorts, but they had a lot of 2nd and longs. They were really good on 2nd down. That's kind of been the theme, is teams are like, all right, make that more of a focus. Try to get, 7, 8, 9 yards, put yourself in third and manageable, and they would do that. So I think that's got to be something that they look at, whether they go into dime on 2nd downs and kind of treat it like it's a third or whatever it might be, because they've been really good against the run. But it's been the 2nd down that I think has really gotten them as well. I wanted to add too, I think the biggest turning point by far in the game was the fumble on the option play.
That's another one.
That one was the one where, man, I felt like we were having good momentum. We started to really move the ball. We still had a lot of time. It was still the end of the 3rd quarter at that point. And, you're thinking to yourself, damn, all right, you go down and score. Now you're only down, you're only within a touchdown. And then it just flipped the entire game. It made it a 17-point game. 3 possessions is always going to be a lot more difficult, but it's just like, for me, it's like the what if with that, because it was such a good drive. And I feel like that would have really started to jumpstart us, especially after having a really good drive coming out of half. So that one was killer, man. That one was the backbreaker, in my opinion. I'd say even more so than the late interception. No, for sure.
The late interception came like on 4th down. It actually, if they would have just swatted it away, it would have been better for them. So like, it's not the end of the world. People are like, oh, he had a wide open, blah, 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 3 seconds later or 2 seconds later, whatever. It's like the same people that are complaining about that are the same ones that call him a check down merchant, blah, 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 and he doesn't hunt or push down the field. So it's like, at that point, you're trying to do stuff. You know what I mean? Like, all right, it's not like a blatantly horrible thing. Like, yeah, the fumble was one of those ones where you're just like, okay, that's what today is. Missed field goals. Like, just that's what today is. So, okay, we were due one of these for a while, and we got it.
Yeah. Mark, what do you got for us, man?
Oh, man, there's a lot about this game. I think for me, I really want to talk about the defense. I think that some of the criticism on VJ has been a little bit, I'd say, unwarranted in a way. Just because, like, I don't know. I get it. Like, okay, you started to kind of digress a little bit last year in December, and everybody thinks, oh, it happened last year. So like now it's like a new habit because it's kind of starting to happen this year where, you look at the year before, all he did was significantly improve in that time frame throughout the course of the season. I feel like a lot of it is that there's so much predicated on Vance Joseph's defense from a standpoint of, making sure you go, it's all about the red zone. And it's all about third downs. And if you're not going to be as good there, then you're just never going to be as good as, the defense is not going to be all that good. So I really feel like they're going to get better at making those adjustments as needed, in terms of, getting back to their dominant ways. I'd like to get, obviously, you guys' takes on the defense overall. And so I guess we'll go clockwise for me. We'll start with you, David. Just overall, like, where are you at with this defense? Have you lost faith? Do you think Vance Joseph is kind of, this is who he is, or what are your thoughts on that overall?
Yeah, I kind of feel like this, late season tail off is starting to become a little bit of a theme, with him here. And when we're looking at the last, 1, 2, 3, 4 straight games, I think that we would all agree that the defense did not play up to expectation. And like you gave up, 19 to the Chiefs. I think that's fine. But then 26 to the Commanders with Marcus Mariota, inexcusable. Raiders, 17 points with whoever the hell was over at quarterback, Kenny Pickett, Geno Smith. That was unacceptable. We don't see the Raiders score points. Unacceptable for what we expect from this defense. And then we got Jordan Love and the Packers, good team, right? I guess maybe the 26 points there is a little bit debatable. But then, dude, giving up 34 points at home. I know the Jaguars are red hot. I know they got a lot of weapons, but a good defense should make their life harder. And it's like once they kind of got out of that first drive or so, dude, they were unstoppable. Now, some of the flags did help with that, I guess, to y'all's point. Yeah, no doubt about it. But yeah, they just made plays. So I am fairly nervous. I think I would put my level of nervousness on a scale from 1 to 10, probably around 7 right now. And it was at a 5 last week on will the defense kind of find their stuff together, get their stuff together. But yeah, maybe I'm just traumatized by seeing them give up all these points here in December and in January over the last few years. You think about the Cincinnati game, just absolutely torched, dude. T. Higgins absolutely torched us. You look at Buffalo, they're a good team, but our defense got destroyed in Buffalo after taking the lead last year in the playoffs. So I do wonder if some of this has to do with Alex Singleton. I'll leave it for all the defensive gurus to talk about the intricacies of coverages and all those sorts of things. But if Zach Seeger said this yesterday, if you got a defense to where you're not able to adjust how you call it with a couple backups in, and that's really the difference, you just need all 11 guys to stay healthy, that's an issue, man. And man, we need Stranad back, because if Greenlaw's hurt, dude, I am so nervous about what's going on, because Alex Singleton's going to be on the field for every single play, and that just can't happen. So, yeah. Sorry for being long-winded. What do you think, Jeremy?
Yeah, I mean, there was a good point made earlier on the keep sleep thing, and I totally agree, is that we went weeks and weeks without even noticing Brandon Jones. It's just kind of came and went, and you're like, oh yeah, did he play good? I can't remember. And then, sorry, my dog is going crazy. And then he's mad at the Jags fans. But we definitely were aware of PJ Locke yesterday, right? He was involved a lot. So it was the opposite experience. So it's fine. I mean, he came back, he sat for the whole year. He played pretty well when he came in last week, but this was the first time starting, and they knew where to go.
Yeah.
And again, I will go back to the fact that early in that game, we got three and outs in a row, and our defensive backfield was looking really well. And then they started moving the football and got penalties that sustained drives. And then once that happened, we couldn't get over that. Now, I will say the good news about this defense, the bad news about this defense is that we haven't seen them play very well since the bye for the most part. Yeah. The good news about this defense is we know that they can play really well because we saw it before the bye and we saw it after the Patrick Surtain pick in the Packers game. They were playing like crap, in my opinion, before that pick. And then when they made that pick, it was a totally different defense. So much so that when they only needed 8 to tie it and they had 2 chances at it in that Packers game, I was confident they weren't going to be able to score on us, and they didn't. And then what happens in this game? They started off hot, and then they got adversity, and they weren't able to keep it going. So they're going to have to look internally. Brandon Jones isn't coming back, and figure it out. Because you got Zach Allen, you got Nick Bonito, you got Jonathan Cooper, you got Riley Moss, Surtain. Jaquan got a touchdown caught against him. Riley missed a tackle, a huge tackle that was a 63-yarder. Hufunga's missing tackles, stuff that you just don't see very often. So it's not a matter of like ability. It's a matter of tightening up the screws and getting focused, getting on the same page. Because if you think you can just show up and now you're just going to be that defense that you've been, that's not going to work. You have to lock in now. And that's why a loss like this at home is embarrassing, but it's like exactly what you need because you do not want to have this feeling again. And that's why the streaks were talked about for so long. You don't want a streak going in the playoffs because when you have adversity, you need to have the second chance to fix it. And in the playoffs, you don't have that second chance. So I look at this like a blessing. If they don't fix it from here, that's on them, but this is their chance to fix it. And they all got to see exactly what they need to do.
Well said. Well said. Now, David, would you do me a favor and highlight a comment from Crushing It at 8:27 p.m., the one about Ben Powers? Because I know this is about the defense, but I didn't want to go this whole show without mentioning it. Man, the rotation between Palcho and Powers at left guard yesterday really pissed me off. It felt like both guys were
that was going to be my topic.
Okay. I'm sorry. We'll say
no. Go ahead, man.
Okay, yeah, it just pissed me off. I felt like neither guy could play well because of that. But yeah, once again, didn't want to go without mentioning that. Either way, when it comes to this defense, it's so weird because you think about it like it's a highly invested defense. Okay, I watched your post game show with Zach yesterday, David. You said that, or Zach said that this arguably is the most invested defense in the NFL. We all had a rookie quarterback coming into this offseason, and we thought, okay, we all thought that, we were going to go skill guy in the first round. And then what happens? You take secondary again to prevent what happened last year when Riley Moss went down and you had to throw Levi Wallace in to prevent that from happening again. And unfortunately, it's happening again. Now, Jeremy and Mark, I was on your post game yesterday, and after sitting on it, I'm a little with Mark on it. Like, I think I just encapsulated it to Vance Joseph a little too much yesterday in the post game. Although he is not blameless, I still think he is the primary contributor of the problems going on in the defense right now for, lack of execution. Benito saying we didn't prepare well enough. Like, what were you doing all week, dude? This was a 10-4 Jacksonville team coming into your house. Okay, this should have been treated as a playoff game. Maybe it wasn't taken seriously enough in the building. I don't know. Regardless, Sean Payton's good at in-season adjustments. So every game for the rest of the year will be taken seriously. But either way, it's not Vance Joseph who's just completely out there missing tackles. It's not Vance Joseph who's just letting guys completely run wide open. Now, sometimes it's not about your X's and O's. It's about your Jimmies and Joes. And yesterday, you got beat by Trevor Lawrence and Parker Washington. That's just the reality of the situation. You just got beat by two real guys who had really, really good games. And that's completely fine, but you can't make it that easy on them. Okay. You can't miss tackles. Okay. The Moss one, it's like whatever. The first one, it's like whatever because Hufanga was there. And Hufanga, yeah, you got to make that tackle, but whatever. Then the second one, like, come on, dude. What are you doing? You literally saw that exact same play earlier in the game. But either way, yeah, I primarily still go to Vance Joseph because, once again, this is a trend. This is a trend. And last year you had the excuse of PJ Locke, Cody Barton, Justin Strnad, before Strnad had really developed, and he has played exponentially better this year, in my opinion. But you had a full offseason to go out and find solutions just in case this was the case again, and you kept Alex Singleton. So that's something that the front office has to wear. You kept Locke as a third safety at like $4 or $5 million a year. I'm not going to say he didn't deserve the chance to, whatever, but these are the consequences of your actions in as Sean Payton and George Payton. That's where it starts ultimately. So yeah, it's too hard for me to encapsulate it into one singular thing. It's Vance Joseph's team, being unprepared X's and O's wise. It's the guys for not going out there and playing well, the guys for not being prepared, and Sean Payton and for not being able to coach his coaches, and George Payton for not finding, what in case this happens sort of insurance. He tried it in the first round with Barron at corner, but we'll see what happens in March, April with that third safety spot or with inside linebacker.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think Strnad might be the best inside linebacker we have. He might be the true X factor on this defense. It seems like every time he's played, this defense has just done better every time. If you kind of think about it, like earlier in the year, him and Singleton were fine together. In the game that Singleton missed, the defense was, didn't really seem like it missed a beat, and it started to unravel once he was playing quite a bit less. Because I think he brings something unique. He's really good against the run. He's really good in blitzing, but he's kind of got more of that sideline to sideline like react. So I hope we're able to get Strnad back because we're kind of at a point now where it's not looking all that good at the inside linebacker position for sure. So
yeah, I have no idea why Strnad has not So he had his best game of the season against the Chiefs, and then he just suddenly doesn't play the rest of the year. Like, what are we doing? Like, I know he was out this past week, but still.
Yeah,
I would have liked to see him get a lot more run against the Raiders and against the Packers before he got hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, I'm right there with you, man.
All right. Well, I guess we'll go to my topic, close out this segment, and that's the run game, man. That is the run game. The run game, not good yesterday at all. Now, it might have statistically been decent, but you had one big explosive run from RJ Harvey. That was great. That was awesome to see. We gave him the ball 7 times. Now, some of that had to do with just getting down, and then you're down by 17 points or whatever it is. But you give Jaleel and RJ 12 carries. You get 87 yards, which is great. Now, you also saw this weird rotation, and I want to hear y'all's thoughts on this. Number one, what do you think about the running back rotation right now? Do you think we might see Cody Schrader this Thursday?
I think he's off the team soon.
I want to see him elevate. I want to see what he can do. And then secondly, what would you do if you're deciding how to handle this offensive line? Because I'm more of a chemistry type of guy. I thought the offensive line has played great over the however many weeks Ben Powers has been out, although we've missed him. But you don't mess with it. You don't mess with something that's working well. You saw him get, I think, around 20 snaps this past week, and it wasn't good, in my opinion. So I want to hear what y'all do at that left guard spot. Mark, let's start with you, and we'll work our way around.
I thought yesterday the running game was fantastic, man. It's just abysmal that we tend to go away from it. I was screaming at the TV so many times. I don't care that we're down. Don't abandon the run. Every time we ran the ball, good things happened. Jaleel looked good early. I think he got a little banged up. He was grabbing his hip and groin. He was out for a little bit, but then came back in. But he looked good. RJ Harvey was running really, really well. I mean, I get that one long run, inflates the numbers a lot. But at the end of the day, it was an unbelievable play, and you can't just discount it. You saw the burst, you saw the power, the ability to finish. I thought it was amazing, and I think that they need to commit to running the ball more. And obviously, he was really good at catching the football out of the backfield as well. And a lot of those are extensions of the run game. So I kind of look at him as a little bit more of a run game, but I thought the run game was good. I just don't like how they abandon it so quickly. when they're down. It's got to be kind of a part of their offense, and it allows for Bo to still stay like, under center, calm, composed, and I think it starts to open up a lot of things. So overall, I thought the running game was fine, but yeah, I mean, 47 passing attempts to 17 rushing attempts in a game where late in the third quarter, it was very much in reach is just not, there's no excuse, but dude, at the end of the day, like, it's similar to Alex Singleton. Like, you could say whatever you want about him, but you just know what's going to happen and you got to accept it. Just like with the referees, like, yeah, they're going to have shitty calls that are mainly geared towards the Broncos. Sean Payton, this is just who he is at this point. He likes to throw the ball 3 times to every 1 time he passes it. So it kind of is what it is on that point. Regarding the O-line, I mean, I get why they did the rotation. I wish that maybe they did that the following. It's easier to say it now, but like this upcoming week versus the Chiefs. But if Ben Powers, man, if he needed to get his feet under him and knock some rust off, that's fine. I think you got to move forward with him. If it's more of a strength thing, just because coming off of a bicep tear, I have had the exact same surgery. I know that your strength is greatly impacted. If it's that, then you got to look at shutting him down or keeping him in more of a reserve role because you don't want to kill the vibe that this offensive line had going. But even with him struggling, I thought it was kind of minute compared to all the other issues that we had yesterday. But it'd be interesting to see. I really hope he can get his feet wet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kodiak, I want to hear more of your thoughts on this in a second, but I want to read this chat here from Miles over at Crushing It. Want to jump in on David. Broncos should have ran more early. Julian was moving early. Broncos should have ran at least once in the red zone after that huge play to Franklin. 12 rushes to 47 passes, as Mark pointed out as well. That is bad, and it's not a winning formula, man. You never it's just not a winning formula. Pat Shurmur might disagree, but he doesn't win games. All right, Kodiak, what you think, man?
Here's what I have to say. So, for a coaching staff that's so good at self-scouting and like so good at building on what they've done, throughout the season, you clawed back into the game against Philadelphia because you were leaning on your run game. Okay. And you had no excuse to not do it yesterday. All right. And listen, as far as RJ Harvey, like, I get it. Down to down, he has been frustrating. Okay. Playmaking ability, different story. But from a pure down-to-down standpoint, I get the frustrations. I don't think it's all his fault, but I think a lot of this goes back to what I was saying about the run game last year. You have too many non-factors deployed in the receiving game, which means, okay, Adam Troutman's in there. Oh, Nate Atkins is in there. Oh, we don't have to respect the passing game in the middle of the field. We can just cheat. And you know what? Part of that is just you're a Sean Payton offense. That's just what's going to happen. Mark talked about it, with the refs, with, throwing the ball at will. Like, it just is what it is, and we have to swallow it. I'm sure everybody is willing to swallow it because of where we're at, because of Sean Payton. But either way, going back to the offensive line, I think that was just a really, really stupid idea, basically, because I didn't think either guy played good at all yesterday. I thought the offensive line, not just those two guys, like the left guard spot was terrible yesterday. I felt like too many plays got blown up and they were just way too easy for Jacksonville. Trayvon Walker literally just swiped away at Ben Powers' arm. It was able to TFL us on 3rd and 2. Okay. I didn't disagree with running it in that standpoint to see if we could run a short yardage situation, but all right, turns out we couldn't, whatever. And then I think that's where a lot of the trust was gone from the run game. But, I think it's like that SpongeBob meme, it says wanted maniac on the poster and SpongeBob is like right in front of it. And then Sean Payton's like wondering who did this. And then no, man, it was you who decided on that left guard rotation. But either way, as far as what to do for the rest of the year, the good thing about this offensive line is they have amnesia. Okay. And they have it in a good way. Okay. We remember how bad they looked in the preseason. Like, they looked terrible against backup defensive lines. And you could say whatever you want about the preseason. I know preseason doesn't matter. If it did, Trent Sherfield would be an all-pro this year. But, going back to those games, the offensive line played bad in a lot of those games, but they came out. I thought they played fantastic the first 4 or 5 games of the year. But I think I'm still going to go back to Powers on Thursday night in Kansas City. The reason I'm going to go back to Powers is because, simply put, I think we have the best 6 offensive linemen out there on the field when we throw 6 offensive linemen out there. And Palcho is a very, very valuable piece of this team. So I don't want to discredit him, but I think he's most valuable as, that do-it-all kind of guy. I think he's most valuable as that, he can fill in any spot on the offensive line, probably other than center. But either way, what were we having success with really early on in the year? I think you all forget that at one point we were like 5th or 6th in rushing offense. And I think a large part of that was because, hey, 63 reporting eligible. And that's where we're at our best as an offensive line. Now, I don't know, who the coaching staff prefers in pass protection, probably Powers, because he's a been there, done that sort of guy. And that goes a long way in the NFL. But if it's me, I'm going Powers on Thursday night. I think I just would have preferred them to do literally anything other than what they did yesterday at the left guard spot.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Jeremy?
Well, that's why you had a cushion, right? That's what we had earned. We'd earned a little bit of a cushion to, even if we dropped a game, we're still control our own destiny and we're still in first place. So if you're going to bring somebody back and he's going to be rusty, like, don't wait till the playoffs to do it. So I think they wanted to see, and we saw, but but you needed to get him. You need to get him work at some point, right? So like, I get that. I don't know. To me, it's like, if we would have won that game, and then now you're playing a third string Kansas City team on Thursday, a quarterback, because they're busting ACLs over there, which is unfortunate for them. And then we got the Chargers. You don't want to lose that game going into it. So like, I understand why they were trying to see what was going, like what was what. So, I would rather us have to take it on the chin right now, have some time to get refocused. If we should beat the Chiefs. We should handle our business, especially coming off a loss. I understand it's a division game and it's a short week. We saw what happened against the Raiders on one of those exact games. That being said, we weren't coming off a loss. We were probably feeling ourselves a little bit, and we probably took them too lightly. Mm-hmm. This one, do not. And hopefully the Chiefs are packing it in, which, losing to Jacksonville like that, it looks like that's what they're doing. But who knows? Be ready. Handle your business. And then you got a mini bye going into the Chargers game. And then hopefully you got another bye after the Chargers game. So you have no excuses to not be ready, be conditioned, and have your stuff together. But I don't mind the fact that he got a little bit of work. It didn't look, if it would have worked out great, we would have been like, oh, perfect. But you have to see, and this team's a young team. We have to always remember, like, we're ahead of schedule, but like, there's certain things that we need. We're not a finished product. This isn't a team that's played together for years and years, and we know everybody. Harvey's not knowing where certain people are going to be. I personally didn't like Harvey on that third down, like the way he kind of he got handed the ball and kind of waited a second before he made the move, and then he got tackled. 3rd and 2, you got to hit that hard. Like, you got to make your decision and go. So I think that was just a learning process. The whole game was like that. The whole game was one of those things where you're just like, this isn't working. This isn't working. Just our bread and butter stuff wasn't going right. So I'm just going to look at it like that. And we're better off next week or Thursday, and then next week after that, because Powers got some work. He's better off. If he would have sat, that's just another week down the line where he hasn't got some acclimation. So it is what it is. It was frustrating, but I'm glad we had the cushion. We earned the cushion. We earned the fact that we got to try stuff like that. So that is what it is.
Yeah, dude, wonderfully said. Well, we got about 10 minutes left. I don't know if we want to talk a little bit more about this Chiefs game upcoming, or Jeremy, if you had any more of your hold your horses or giddy up questions, but yeah, that'd be a fun way to end things off.
Let me see. I could come up with some, I'm sure, because I've been thinking about some. Go ahead.
Oh, really quick. I'll get to this one. Sethoid. What happened to the daily watchers? I don't know what that means. Y'all are so fair weather. I don't know if this is for us or the chat. You don't come to see the response to our first loss in 2 months. Oh, do we just not have enough viewers tonight? Is that the reason, Seth Lloyd? Hey, thanks for running the show, guys. I've been busy, but y'all have the best takes in Broncos country.
Thanks,
Thank you so much. And hey, our regulars, such as you, Seth Lloyd, are really what make this thing fun. Every Monday you showing up. But yeah, where are all the fair weather fans? I mean, we had one of our most successful shows, I think, like last week. What the heck, right? But thank you so much, man. Okay.
Let's see. I would like the way that we saw the Patriots kind of respond to that Bills loss, beating the Ravens late. Does that change who your kind of concern level or who, like, how does that meter go? You saw the Jags play. No offense to the Jags. Y'all played great. And trying to make being called a small market into some sort of like, those are fighting words. It's like, that's not disrespect. That's respectful.
They're like the size of Lubbock.
Yeah, like be proud of that, dude. I would be like, hell yeah, we're small. I wish Denver was a smaller market, honestly. But after you saw how good the Jags played, you saw the Patriots respond, you saw that. Who are you ranking as far as give me your top 3 most concerning teams going into the playoffs on the AFC side? Mm-hmm. We'll swipe it around if you're ready, Kodiak.
Yeah. Plain and simple, I'm scared about all of them if this defense doesn't get it together. Like, I'm just going to be so for real. But you are correct. Is my primary concern the Patriots? No. They are number 2, though. They are number 2. The reason they're number 2 is because Buffalo, because they already beat us last year, and because I think they play the style of football that hurts us so well. We saw it against the Washington Commanders. And listen, Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid, they cap out as role guys. They're nothing like special or anything like that. That being said, what do we struggle against? We struggle against tight ends that have any semblance of a pulse. We struggle against, solid running backs, and James Cook could absolutely do some damage. So Buffalo number 1, Patriots number 2, primarily because I think the way to beat Drake May is to sack him and make him throw picks. Those are how he's been beat this year, and we're not doing either of those right now. And he is on a really big heater right now. So I know that they just barely squeaked by the Snoop Huntley Ravens, but whatever. Like, I still think that doesn't change the fact that I'm really concerned about our defense, especially if we have to go into Gillette come playoff time. And number 3, that's an interesting one. I think Houston, since they already beat us, like, they would come back with a vengeance,
We beat them.
Yeah, we beat them. They would have to come here, obviously, and it's so hard to beat a team 2 times in one season, especially non-divisional opponents. So, yeah, I don't know. Those are kind of my top 3. So Buffalo, New England, and the Texans. I don't think the Steelers have the juice on offense to really hurt us. I think the Chargers, without Slater and Alt, they're going to be not an easy out, but I feel like we're much better equipped to play against them than we have been whenever we matched up against them the past 2 years, the 3 times we played them.
Okay, so Alex still doesn't have respect for the Jags. Mark? No,
oh, shit. I forgot about them, but yeah. But yeah. Jacksonville's really fucking good, but if we play them again, it'll be different next time.
Different story. Yeah.
I agree. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, for me, team I'm most worried about for sure is Buffalo. That would be my number 1. Number 2 would be the Texans. And then not just because we beat them earlier, because, man, like, even if our defense was still playing at an elite level, which they obviously aren't, but even if they were, like, that's the ultimate counter, is it playing against another team that has a dominant defense, because then it's like, basically whoever makes the big mistakes loses. So Texans would definitely be number 2. And then I think number 3 for me would be the Patriots, probably. Yeah,
right.
I'd say the Pats. I'm not gonna lie, like I would have said the Ravens had Lamar not gotten hurt and them looking like they're probably not gonna make it. But they could be one. But I'm actually gonna change that. I'm not gonna say the Patriots number 3. Number 3 is gonna be the Chargers for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say no Chargers.
Dang it.
Yeah, because
that's gonna be my 3.
Yeah, because the Chargers. I mean, obviously we haven't beat them yet, and who knows what's gonna happen on
weeks?
week 18, obviously. So that could change a lot of different things. It could be a meaningless game. It could weirdly enough turn out to be a meaningless game for the Chargers and be a very meaningful game for us. So those would be the ones. It's a divisional opponent that, we haven't beaten them yet, even though you still feel good about the fact that they have like a really beat up line. They haven't been playing as well as lately, as they were earlier, but they're still the Chargers and they still kind of have your number. So those would be the three. I'm not overly worried about the Patriots. I mean, maybe it's going to come back and backfire, but like, dude, they're inexperienced in the playoffs. They haven't really been battle tested at all. Like, say what you want. And then the time they got battle tested, they lost. The second time to the Bills. And so I think that they've done an amazing job turning that franchise around, but I kind of look at them of being, they probably still need a year or so. And also Mike Vrabel hasn't really had a good track record in the playoffs as well either.
No. I'll leave New England out of it too. I'll say Buffalo. I'll say the Chargers number 2 because we have yet to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
And then Houston. At least we've beaten them. So, yes. What about you, Jeremy?
I'll go with the same as you, except for I'll swap out Houston for Jacksonville just because they beat us at home. Respect. Like, I'll give you that respect for sure. Like, you came in and you saw we responded well a couple times there and you kept coming. So there is something to them right now. Trevor Lawrence is hot. He's playing very confident. Their head coach clearly has them like in the right headspace. So I'll give them like some love for that for sure. Houston, I just feel like we just always can play well against Houston. And the fact that we beat them in Houston, which is not easy at all. A lot of teams have found that out. We didn't get the credit we deserve when we did it, but like a lot of teams went in there and found that out. But I just have a feeling I just feel like I don't know, we show up against Houston for whatever reason. And until we beat the Chargers are real. Like, that's what it is. Like, I think once we get over that mountain, like we had to get over the Chiefs and had to kind of really get over the Raiders for a while there. I think once that snaps, it'll be fine. But like, it hasn't happened yet. Right. And then the Bills, just because conspiracy theory, the freaking NFL wants the Bills to win the Super Bowl. You can't convince me otherwise. Like, they will get every freaking Kansas City call known to man, Josh Allen and everybody. Like, that would be the greatest story forever for the NFL to have. So like, you're going to have to fight against not only the Bills, but every whistle. I'm convinced of that. So for that reason alone. Now, that being said, like Alex said, it comes down to us. We can beat anybody. And if we are playing our best, we will beat anybody. Will we do that? That's the question we're at right now. Right now is that pivot point in the season of you just got smacked. You feeling great about yourself. You won all these close games, but what are you really made of now? How do you deal with success? Well, we lost when we finally had a tough team and we had to face adversity. So now is the answering point. If we come out and handle business, if we go beat Kansas City, of course, we should beat that. We should win that game. But if we handle the Chargers and we come ready the first game in the playoffs, I think this team will be like, we're the favorites and we should be. Like, that's how I feel. Now, if you limp in and it wasn't looking good and you take a loss against the Chargers or whatever it is, I don't know. That's where I would be nervous to play anybody. So.
Well said, man. Well said. Well, guys, another successful horsepower hour. Again, want to thank everybody in the comments. Sean Keller, y'all big bettors. Hey, get over on Kalshi. Use that promo code DTB. Get a $10 match when you deposit 10 on Kalshi. Come on now, have some fun over there. But guys, anything else going on in your channels until the post games on Christmas? We'll work our way around real quick and then we'll sign off. Mark.
No, man, nothing really. Just the kind of the usual. Is probably gonna be a little bit of a lighter week, just because I wanted to, the holidays got a lot going on. Spend time with the fam. Hope you want to wish all you guys a super Merry Christmas. Hopefully, you guys all enjoy it with your fam and all the people that you are the closest with. I think those whiteout uniforms are going to be sweet.
Yeah.
And I really, really hope that, like, it would be shocking if the Broncos found a way to ruin our Christmas. But I just want a nice, fun Christmas with my family, a nice, easy Broncos win, and I think we'll all be good. So not much going on other than that.
Mm-hmm. Kodiak?
First of all, shout out Christian McCaffrey because he just won me 2 Final Fours on his touchdown just now.
I lost all 3 because of Juwan Jennings. I don't know if you guys noticed, like, there's been times where I wanted to blow my brains out on this channel because, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Well, over the past 5 minutes, I have not been able to wipe this stupid smile off my face. I literally heard my dad yell, "Alex!" after McCaffrey caught that touchdown. But
Nice.
Either way, no post-game recap for me because unfortunately I am traveling to Chiefs Kingdom for Christmas. And Chiefs Kingdom is St. Louis, I guess, or you'd think with how the people in St. Louis act, even though they're all bandwagoners. But either way, yeah, overall, yeah, no, I won't be around to do any of my post-game stuff until at least Saturday. So yeah, overall, just really thankful I get to hop on this with y'all. Really grateful I get to do what I do. And you know what, Broncos country, this team has earned our trust. So let's show a little bit of faith. Let's show a little bit of fight. And you know what? Let's go at Arrowhead and beat the piss out of a third-string quarterback.
Facts.
Totally.
Man. Jeremy?
Yeah, I just want to say one thing I forgot to say earlier, and the team that absolutely whacked the Chargers, and we should maybe have saw it coming a little more, was the Jags. They put it on the Chargers.
Yes.
So respect to that too. So, like, as bad as yesterday was, they had it way worse than us. And then second of all, Christmas present to all the Broncos fans out there, to Broncos country, in a new documentary on Netflix about John Elway dropped today. I saw it.
Oh, damn,
it's
nice.
Unreal, dude. It's fire. It's so good.
Can't wait to watch it.
So nothing will get you over a loss and like a tough one than seeing some of those clips. I mean, it is like, it brought back so many memories for me, and for younger people who didn't experience that time, it really fills in paints a lot of pictures of like what this city was, what this team was, and who built it. And yeah, it's phenomenal. So check that out.
I love it. Yeah, again, guys, happy holidays. Merry Christmas. I think today's the last day of Hanukkah as well. So yeah, happy Hanukkah. And hopefully, yeah, we get a great Broncos Christmas gift on Thursday night against the Chiefs. I'll be back live at the end for a post game. Until then, guys, have fun, enjoy time with the ones that you love, your loved ones, your friends, your family, and we'll see ya. Go Broncos.
Go Broncos, baby.
That sacrifice is grabbed.